Hey, it's here, the shipping order.
Came while you were out.
Now watch me get out of this hole.
Hey, Sarge, I wanted
What
to...
do you want?
Nothing. I just thought that maybe...
Get out of my way. Can't you see I'm busy? Captain Caldwell, I've just seen the shipping orders, and I have just a man for you, sir.
Good. Who is he?
Me, First Sergeant Victor Puccinelli.
Don't be foolish, Sergeant. This call is only for privates and PFCs. You'd better make up your mind you're staying here.
I've seen Army.
I won't argue that point. Now, about this shipment, we can't be expected to cripple ourselves, so don't send anyone who's useful. How about that kid who never does anything right?
You mean Corwin?
That's the one.
Well, he's right out here now, sir.
Maybe Eisenhower can do something with him.
Corwin.
Huh?
At War with the Army is a 1950 comedy film directed by Hal Walker that would be the third released film and the first top-billed lead starring film for the comedy duo Martin and Lewis. At a United States Army base in Kentucky in late 1944 during World War II, First Sergeant Vic Puccinelli, played by Dean Martin, works alongside his friend, Private First Class Alvin Corwin, played by Jerry Lewis. The two had been partners in a nightclub song and dance act prior to World War II.
How come you didn't shave today?
No one said I was supposed to. I didn't shave yesterday. Nobody said nothing.
Get out of here.
You always didn't used to treat me like this.
Oh, stop mumbling.
You always didn't used to treat me like this. That's what I said, so there, too.
You gonna start that again?
Yes, I am. You're supposed to be my friend. We lived on the same block, in the same city. And you know what you promised my mother.
Stop hitting my desk. And what did I promise your mother?
That no one would harm a hair on my head.
You mean both heads?
Ho, ho, that's rich.
Oh, quiet, P-head. Just because we were friends before...
Friends
hasn't
before is right.
anything to do with now? I have a responsibility, and you're part of it.
Well, I'm warning you, you're driving me crazy.
That's no drive. It's a short putt. What do you want? Special privileges?
No, I just wanted you to remember you was the best man at my wedding.
You're not kidding.
And we was buddies, and we wrote songs, and we sang, and we danced together. And you still owe me $8.75 from before the war. And we was friends and pals. We were just like brother and sister. And what happens? Along comes a crummy little war and clip-clop. You turn into a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Clyde. What is it with you, anyhow?
All right.
All right. Big man. Couple of stinking stripes. Big deal.
Go home and wash your face.
Go home and wash your face. Big deal. Look at him. General delivery.
Get out of here.
Puccinelli is tired of his dull desk job in Kentucky and wants to be stationed overseas.
I don't dig this army at all. I want overseas. I stay here. The guys who want to stay here, get overseas. You forget there's a war on. Yeah, but what do we get to do about it? When I was a civilian, we had something doing every minute. Singing, dancing, working in nightclubs. I joined the army, I sit on my hands. Nah, I'm hungry. Think I'll inspect the mess hall.
Corwin wants to get a pass so he can go visit his wife and his new baby, and he is tired of working KP duty and preparing beans.
Well, let's have it.
What are they griping about?
Well, they've got to eat them.
I gotta cook them. In the Navy, they get steak, caviar, and whipped cream cake. They have fancy cooks who know what cooking means. In the Army, we get mess, and it really is a mess. Oh, the Navy gets the gravy, but the Army gets the beans.
Bean.
Send a salami to your boy in the Army. Yes, the Navy gets the gravy, but the Army gets the beans.
Bean.
Corwin often clashes with his brash platoon sergeant McVeigh, played by Mike Kellen.
Let's be explaining why you ain't been in no classes all afternoon.
I've been looking all over you, McVeigh.
Oh, you've been looking for me, huh?
Yeah, I want to know, could I have permission to see the first sergeant?
No!
Yeah, but I gotta see him.
You don't gotta see nobody!
I got a message for the first sergeant for battalion headquarters.
Now, why didn't you say so?
He didn't let me.
Corwin, you never learn. You know, before you take off on details, you gotta tell your platoon sergeant.
You was the one that sent me on a detail.
Well, that don't make no difference.
Both Corwin and Puccinelli have to rehearse for a talent show on base, while also avoiding eccentric commanders, sexy women, and a violent Coca-Cola machine. This film was based on a Broadway play of the same title by James B. Allardyce. It opened at the Booth Theater on West 45th Street in New York City on March 8, 1949, and ran for 151 performances until July 16, 1949, with Mike Kellin and Kenneth Forbes reprising their roles. When Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis signed on with Paramount Pictures, it was with the provision that they could make one film outside of the studio every year for their own company, York Productions. This film was the first movie of that negotiation, with the stars exchanging their usual salary for a 90% cut of the profits. However, on the film's release, the two found themselves in the midst of a protracted legal battle over their contract and the profits. After several years, they relinquished all financial interest in the film in exchange for dropping the stipulation that they make films outside of Paramount. All of the legal battles over the movie may have been one of the main reasons why its copyright was not renewed in 1977, with the film ending up in the public domain. Although Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis had appeared together in films twice before, this marks their first starring vehicle as a comedy duo. It was filmed from July through August 1949. This movie was actually filmed several months before the 1950 film My Friend Irma Goes West, but was released 7 months after that movie. Throughout the film, Jerry Lewis gives a scout salute rather than a military salute. This is the only Martin and Lewis film where a character played by Jerry Lewis has a wife and child. At War with the Army was released on December 30th, 1950, and grossed a total of $3.3 million, making it a large success. It was among the top 10 highest-grossing films throughout 1951 in the United States. It would be re-released in 1958 by Omot Pictures. This film does feel very much like a stage play, which I think works to its detriment. There aren't many scene changes, and most of the movie takes place inside of a single building with offices on the Army base. The most memorable part of the film, in my view, is when Jerry Lewis dresses up in drag, looking rather repulsive in a blonde wig.
Excuse me.
I beg your pardon.
Did you see what I saw?
Yeah. Excuse me, little lady. How about a little drink?
Please.
All right, Romeo.
Yeah, I'm just buying a little drink for melancholy baby.
You've had enough, Sarge.
You know, you are the first dame I ever met who didn't remind me of any other dame I ever met.
Well.
Other than that, I actually think this movie is not as enjoyable as the two previous Martin and Lewis films, My Friend Irma and My Friend Irma Goes West. Overall, At War with the Army is a rather laconic addition to the Martin and Lewis filmography, but if you are a fan of the comedy duo, then you should see At War with the Army.